What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit differently, as you guys can see, because I'm doing the talking. This is another episode of That Conversation with Repinya. We'll figure out who I am after the intro. Run it. So at this point, you guys probably already saw the intro. It's already done. You guys are probably wondering who I am. I am the editor. I'm going to probably put my name somewhere up here. I'll be editing all the videos. I'm also the son of the lovely Repinya. That's the channel. So we're going to be doing something a little bit differently. We're going to do some reactions. We low-key got to come up with like a name for a segment for something like this. Because I'm on Twitter a lot. So I'll just be running into videos and seeing a bunch of different stuff. And we're going to react to some of the more interesting things that I saw during the week. Okay. So... you got anything?
No.
All right, let's go. Let's get straight into this reaction. So the first reaction, I ran into it. I stumbled across it because on Twitter they be going crazy about a bunch of different stuff. Because we are very divided on there. Feminist Twitter and male strength Twitter and stuff. So this is the first one that I thought was
I stay off of Twitter.
We're recording and we about to get it popping.
I had a conversation with the collective of women. And I am appalled at what I heard in that conversation. When I talked about serving your partner, the majority of them snapped at me completely. We not slaves. We ain't slaves. Misogynistic, patriarchy, yeah.
Pause.
And so I asked them, do you want to get married?
So, who was coming at her?
Well, probably the people on Twitter. The people on Twitter are crazy.
Because she wants to serve her man.
She was probably very open and vocal about her wanting to serve her man and please him and do certain things. And they probably were coming after her. But they're really aggressive on Twitter, though.
Okay.
They are. So I think this was in return to a disagreement that was going on. Remember when I was telling you about the girl that said she cooks breakfast for her man, packs his lunch?
Okay.
And it was a big thing. So this was probably in response to something like that.
Okay.
So you ready?
Continue.
Yeah. You want to get married and you don't know that you have to serve your partner? What does serving your partner mean to you? That's slavery. That's all that submission. I kid you all. I can't make this up. My mind is blown right now. I just sat there and said, if you get out of this mindset that you're in complete subservience to a subordinate capacity, then you will understand what serving your partner is. I'm not talking about serving someone who controls you or serving someone or yielding to their will of dominance. I'm not talking about that. I said when you make a cup of coffee for your partner, when you clean up, if you buy your partner a gift, if you go and get something, a small little gift that you know your partner enjoys or their favorite meal along the way, you're still serving your partner because you're still serving an emotion.
I feel like I was in church. Okay. I'm confused because what is marriage? I don't get it. Like, what is a woman's role in a marriage? So, cooking, fixing them a hot plate, maybe doing some extra things for them is not the role of the wife? Is that what we are now?
I think they really been trying to flip the roles with like feminism and stuff like that. That's probably what it is. They probably don't want to do that stuff, and it's stuff as little as that. You know, I'm really saving my thoughts for the end. I want to let the video finish, but yeah, I don't think that they, want to do all of that stuff. I think they don't want to. Crazy.
That's what you're still doing that. And it's vice versa. If your partner helps you out in anything, even when you want to talk about something that your partner doesn't want to talk about after a long day, and they sacrifice their time and they stop what they're doing to listen, they're still serving you. There's no way in the same sentence you can tell me you want love and you want marriage, but you don't understand that you're still going to have to serve your partner for the rest of your days. You can't serve the person that you're dating. You're doing all of this stuff for them, all of these acts of service for them to bring them in, to make them consider marrying you. And then when they marry you, it turns off because society has conditioned you to believing that that's slavery. You hear the word serve and submit and you think it's slavery. not understanding that it's not gender specific. You both submit and serve one another. You submit to each other and you serve one another. It would have been easier if they would have just asked me how, but the simple fact that they started off with, I'm not a slave. And I just had to say, you all are selfish. You all are selfish. And they wouldn't worry about me if it was the end of the day. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, that was a lot.
So.
I agree. I completely agree with what she was saying. There's some points I have contention with, but we're going to leave it up. For the most part, I agree with it. I think what a lot of people don't understand, I mean, I'm not married, so you probably could touch in on this, but it's more of a marathon than a sprint. So it's longevity. The longer that you guys can, and I'm going to say tolerate because I've seen a lot of crazy stuff with marriage. The longer you guys can tolerate each other and be nice to each other, it'll be smooth going because it's a long haul. It's not just relationships, it's marriage, you know. And I think that kind of thing is important. You know, I see a lot that people, they'll try to, there's this way of thinking, and they'll say, well, I'm not going to do my wifely duties until I get a ring until I get married. Right. Which I'm kind of on both sides, because when you try to get a job and you want to get promoted and you want to be that CEO, you want to be a boss, you're going to want to show them that you can be a boss right. before they promote you.
Right.
You're going to have to prove yourself. It's an audition, realistically. Right. But at the same time, you can fall into a place like a purgatory or a limbo, and he'll be thinking, well, why marry a cow if I could get the milk for free? She'll be my wife without me having to marry. So it's both, but I think the solution to that is to make sure that the person that you're with, you vet them right and you understand this is the person you want to marry, and it's an understanding when you guys first get together. Whether it's you telling them, okay, so we're going to be together 2 years, I want to be married in 2 years. If we're not married by 2 years, we're done. But I think that's part of the vetting process. At the beginning, you need to let them know, this is what I want to do. I will do these duties and stuff like that, but it's not going to be forever because I have a requirement. That's very important on both sides. So I think that was really good. I think she articulated herself really well. But we're in a crazy point in society right now where people don't want to, it's certain words that are trigger words that shouldn't be trigger words. You should want to do stuff like that for your partner, you know. But I'm a single person, so this is hypothetical for me. But I do pay attention to a lot of the things that's going on. But as a married person, what do you think?
Well, you know what? I wholeheartedly agree with this young lady, because I do that now. And I actually enjoy, like, cooking and doing all of the, the cute female domestic things in a marriage. Mm-hmm. I actually enjoy it. So, I don't know. I'm kind of disturbed because I don't know what generation thinks that way. I don't know. I guess maybe because I'm a little more traditional, that I'm okay with that. Now, I definitely agree that it should be reciprocated. Mm-hmm. So your husband or mate, your husband or wife should definitely reciprocate it. I believe that it's a give and take. So it can't just be one person doing everything and the other person not. You know what I mean? So it should definitely be a revolving door. Mm-hmm. Everyone should be trying to outlove one another. And
there are roles too. I know you guys be trying to remove gender roles, but there's some things that are biologically we have to do. The man is the protector, the provisionary provide. Right. You need to make sure you get to the car safe and stuff. There are things that we as certain roles need to do. And I understand when people are both working, you both tired, you guys got to come up with a compromise. But submissiveness and being serving one another should not be contingent upon certain things that should be inside of you. Right. It's honestly what's more attractive as a wife. But I understand that nowadays we have a lot of independent women. They don't even want to get married. So you guys can do that over there. But the women who do want to get married and you really want to, especially if you're getting closer to a certain age where you know, pregnancy and stuff's going to get weird, you need to be submissive and you need to do certain things to be more attractive to a man. So, yeah.
What do you think about your wife pumping gas, carrying her own groceries?
That's unacceptable. As a man, it should be. You should do all the heavy lifting and all the stuff. Our muscles are denser. Our bones are thicker. We're men. There are certain things that we're supposed to do and you're supposed to do. you shouldn't even be pumping a drop of gas.
That's what I'm talking.
You should be getting in your car until you're out of my eyesight.
Absolutely.
Safe in the car, going to work.
Security. Absolutely.
All the little things just to make your life easier for me. Realistically, you guys are doing stuff for each other. If he could come back and he ain't got to worry about all the cooking and stuff, he could come and just deal with whatever you want him to do as soon as the food's already done. Vice versa. If you come and the trash is already taken out, whatever you're supposed to do is done. So you can come in here and just do whatever. It literally is like it's a ship. It's a relationship. It works together.
Yep.
And it's a marathon, not a sprint. So the easier, it's like when you take care of a car, it'll take you a long way. But you got to get it. You got to treat each other right because you want to leave that sweet taste in each other's mouth. Not because you guys live together, cohabitate. So, yeah, that's important. What roles you guys got to play?
Absolutely. One of the perks and one of the exciting things for me, moving from being single into being married and a wife, was that I don't have to worry about protection. Just to have that sense of protection and knowing I have a husband, as that secure person or that, security blanket for me. Like, that was one of the biggest things for me because I do a lot of things where I used to do a lot of things where I had to travel alone and, to and from work. So one of the things that I looked so forward to was having, my own, like, protection or protector, to make sure I get to the car. If it rained, I don't have to even drive home from work. Meet me there, pick me up, drive me home, and come back and get my car and bring it back. So all those things right there are good. So in return, I don't mind my husband waking up to breakfast, my breakfast. Come on. And I know how to cook really good.
I
so
don't know how to throw down in the kitchen. Man.
I don't mind doing the dinners and just surprising them with, all that good stuff. All that yummy. So, I'm surprised though. I don't know. This is the first time I've seen that video.
Oh, yeah, and my mom don't be on Twitter and stuff like that. So,
I don't have a Twitter,
we have my sister, she does, like, other stuff for the channel, but I have a sister, and me and her be trying to tell my mom, like, it's crazy out here. Feminism, people who aren't feminists are just disingenuous. It's a lot of craziness going on out here. My mom doesn't see it because, one, she's from a different generation.
Right.
And two, she's not really on the crazy parts of socials,
No.
Twitter's raw. Even though I love Twitter, it's really raw and it gets crazy on there. So, speaking of Twitter, that's what we on next. I saw a tweet that I thought was interesting. I think it'll be an interesting topic for discussion. So I'm going to put it up right now. So I'm going to probably screenshot. I'm going to probably put the tweet somewhere. I'm going to put the tweet somewhere you guys can see it yourself. But the tweet says, I was talking to my mom and she was saying a bunch of stuff she refused to do in a relationship. ... As she's 67 years old, single, and moving into her son's house. I think he's the son she was talking about. So, that is it. You want to go first? What do you think about? You want to go first?
You go first. Go ahead.
I think this is an interesting thing. Personally, I think that's ideal. Usually, when I see, like, in my head or, like, even in movies sometimes, when somebody has the means to do it, like, they're financially stable, they're good, they got the money, the grandparents usually stay with them as they progress and get older, because it's like it's the pendulum, it's the circle of life. That's ideal. Realistically, you have my family and then have my mom or whatever. Well, she's married, so they about to go and live in a paradise place, so they're gonna be good. But a grandparent or somebody, if they need to, stay with us and we take care of them on the way, as they progress and getting older. But I do also understand the other side. I don't think that if it's an obligation, I don't think that that's fair, because it's a blessing that we hear, but people didn't necessarily ask to be born. So as them figuring out being an adult and taking care of themselves, for them to have to put their life on hold as an obligation, because not even because of something you can't control, something you can control, and you decided to not be with nobody because you were disagreeable and you just didn't want it, it's not fair. So I see both sides. I think he was saying, the dude made a tweet, he deleted it, and he was saying that she didn't want to just basically submit the stuff we was talking about. She didn't want to cook or clean or just do certain stuff, which I thought was interesting, because I had an interesting thought while I was looking at it too. While she's there and she's with her, because he has a kid, the guy, I'm all in this dude's business. I've seen this dude. Because they go back and forth on Twitter, so you learn stuff about the people based on the interactions that you see. and he has children, and that's her son. So her saying that she doesn't want to do certain things in a relationship, catering to somebody, you're gonna cater to somebody because you love your son and you love your grandbabies. If your grandbaby come and tell you that he or she is hungry, you're gonna get in there, you're gonna cook, you're gonna go and clean up after
Right,
them, and you're gonna make sure your son's laundry and everybody, you're gonna be doing it anyways.
Right.
So at that point, I don't even think it's necessarily about what you're saying it's about. You just be real. You don't want to deal with a man, or you just and then another thing that I'm gonna bring up before I hand it over to my mom, the Social Security in America is running out. So by the time people are a certain age, the government's not gonna be able to take care of you. You're gonna need, I think it's $2.1 million to not have to work another day and live all the way to the end of your life. And a lot of people aren't making that. That's not realistic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, if I can make a suggestion as a 24-year-old wise man, the owl, the young owl, I would suggest that you guys try to figure out who you want to be, who you want to spend the rest of your life with, because a combined income is better than one. Especially America, most of the states are expensive to live in. It's not meant for single people to live all the way out. So I think, or you're going to have to move in with your children. You know, if they're okay with that, that's fine too. But I think it would be important that you guys figure out who you want to be with, because the Social Security going to run out, and nobody's going to take care of you if you don't have a family, if you didn't have kids. So that's my thoughts on it. What you guys?
Well, you know what? Let me just start off by saying I kind of feel away. I don't know. Did this have to be shared?
Yeah, and that was another point of
I
contention.
don't know
People
if I
were on there
feel
too.
like this wasn't very nice to share. Like, come on. That's mom. So
Yes,
no matter
moms.
what, I'm going to be team mom all the way. All that was this necessary to be posted?
That was a point of contention people was having. People were saying like he was exploiting his mom and stuff, which her identity is not shared and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I have a question for you though. Do you think that that's fair on the kids for them to put that obligation on them? If they're trying to figure their life out and have their own family, they got to kind of. Do you think that that's fair?
Ooh, that's a tough one. No, I don't feel like you should obligate your children to have to take care of you. I do not.
You don't think it's fair?
I don't think it's fair.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think parents should put that on their children.
On their kids, yeah.
It's especially now. The climate has changed, and this world is super dark now.
Yeah.
So, you know how we were growing up, and the level of respect we have for our like grandparents and the elderly, and the elderly neighbors in the community. I feel like all of that respect stuff is out of the.
It's gone.
It's gone. So it's very scary sometimes if you have your parent live with you and kids are snapping. It's kind of dangerous. So it's one of those things where now the climate that we're in, you have to be careful. And again, parents and come on, we should be respectful. We shouldn't just be. I never liked the phrase. Oh, she's set in her ways. Like, oh, grandma, that's just grandma. That's just mom. She's set in her ways. So she can just talk
do whatever
crazy
she wants.
and be disrespectful. No, there's still a level of respect we need to show as well.
Mutually.
Absolutely. So, I don't know. I'm just kind of side-eyeing.
His means of going about it. Yeah, Twitter does that.
I don't think he meant to do anything.
I think he for sure didn't mean any harm.
Yeah, I know he loved his mom and all that stuff.
He made a tweet underneath it. Here. Let me tell you what he said. He made a tweet underneath it. Nobody is above my observations. LOL. Nobody. So hey, it's an observation. It's a fact.
Okay.
These are facts. It's not like he drug his mom.
Okay.
These are the facts.
Okay.
She refused and she moved in.
Okay.
These are the facts.
That's fair.
So,
that's fair.
yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. We got one more video clip.
Okay.
I'm gonna probably screen record it too while we do it, so we can have all the timestamps and all that. But yeah, that was interesting what you said about the elders and the olders, because I was on a Twitter space and that's what they were saying. Elders are people who can give you game, and olders are just people who are older and disrespectful and stuff. I personally think you should have a baseline level of respect for people who are older than you. Period.
Absolutely.
Just because that's how I was raised,
Absolutely.
but I understand that not everybody.
Black women have been my enemy my entire life.
They've been your what?
My enemy.
What do you mean your enemy?
Was pursuing a dual doctorate degree in medicine and in chemistry.
I'm a
and
PhD.
Throughout the entire relationship, the only time that we didn't have an argument or we didn't have any kind of ridiculous back and forth is when we were having sex.
How
Once
old are
the
you?
orgasm was out the way,
How old are you?
28.
And how long did you guys
28.
date?
I've known her for 8 years, dated her for one.
And you dated her to what end? What was the intended outcome?
I was interested in marrying her.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a musician and an Uber driver.
What?
I
Are
know.
you serious? Are you trolling me? Ninja,
No,
what?
I'm not.
Ninja, what? You date. Your enemy is your pocketbook.
I know.
Don't come here and talk about black women. Man, see? I mean, are you being serious, bro?
I am, but the finances is definitely something that I'm working on.
No, hell no. A black woman who's dating, you actually came in here to tell me that you dated a black woman who's pursuing 2 dual doctorates.
I'm a PhD.
And you're a goddamn
Yeah.
Uber driver and a musician.
That is crazy. So yeah, that was a clip. Obviously, I've seen this whole episode. This episode was an interesting episode.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, this whole episode was a trip. He was going in on the dudes the whole episode. So, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, very wise man. Rest in peace. I was a fan of his. So, but yeah, that's that. I think that not to go off topic too much, but I think there's a certain demographic of people who follow Kevin Samuels. I think that they give the normal people a bad rep because there's dudes like this who are not, and I don't know this guy, so I'm not saying he's a bad person or anything like that. From the information I was given, and I've actually seen the whole episode, so I'm not going off a clip. Information was given, this dude is delusional. You have to, typically this is my ideology, this is my way of thinking. A woman likes to date either on her level or above. If she's going to dual doctorate to be on point, and you're not, you're going to get left in the dust, bro. You just are. Because the fact says it's way easier for a woman to get a man than a man to get a woman. So if she's already on top of her stuff and on point, and you falling behind, bro, it's not looking good for you. But yeah, I think that these type of people give the people normal people a bad rep because it'll be somebody who doesn't. And I'm not saying you're not a good person. I'm saying as far as from a tangible means, you don't really have too much to provide. We still have to figure out and scrape and figure out what we're gonna do. So you can't be that and be like, well, I'm a high value man and I expect all this stuff. Like how we were saying earlier. If you expect a woman to be a wife, you got to be a man. You got to provide, you got to be provision, you got to be a protector. You have to do all of those things to where she can be in her feminine role and be able to do all that stuff. But if you don't have your stuff together, you're laughable. Look, I couldn't even hold it in. It's laughable. So I think it's important to see that because not only do I think the people who watch Kevin Samuels get a bad rep, I think he got a bad rep because you don't ever really see him going in on the dudes, which he did for years before he even eventually got into women. But that's not the topic. Rest in power again. He was a smart man. He was dope. But yeah, that was crazy.
I don't really have much to say because the video
spoke for itself. Yeah, that was.
I don't know. I'm with Kev. Was he trolling?
Yeah, like, are you serious?
I mean, I don't know. Was this for real? Like, I don't know.
What's crazy is he was so confident that he was not about to get grilled. He was so confident, like, oh yeah, no, this is cool, perfect. Let's get it. Like, bro, no, man, we're not on your side.
This video took me out. That one took me because I'm like, what? It's the audacity for me.
Man, it's crazy. But yeah, that's all. Those are probably the most interesting things I saw on Twitter. We might do this again if you guys find this interesting, and if you guys have like stuff you want us to react to, because this is just we try new concepts and stuff. Put it in the comments. Leave a video, link, or any ideas you want us to talk about. We can talk about. If you want to see me again, make sure that you like the video. The way that we know that you guys like something is if you like it. You get it? Right. So it's the reception. So if you guys want to see me more on the channel, put down in the comments. If you want to see more reactions, put down in the comments and like the video. Let us know. But yeah, I have a question for you. So what can you say as a wife that you would look for before getting married and while you're married? What are some things that would attract you to want to be with a man and that'll keep you as a woman? If you could give advice to any of these young dudes that want to, you know what I'm saying, get their stuff together and be on point. If you could cohesively, What do you think?
Okay, so one of the things I know, one of my prerequisites was to see. I always had to see how a man treated their mom and how they treated their kid's mom. So if there was anyone that was interested in me and I knew that they had children, I always asked how the relationship was with the kid's mom, whether they're together or not. I want to know what is the first thing that's going to come out of your mouth. If it's something negative, I'm not doing it. Because if that person can treat someone that at one time you were close enough to
conceive,
have children with, or your mom, I can't do that.
I think that's really interesting because it's all there. It's dual. Life has so many different like dualities. Like it's interesting how you could connect certain things. But the correlation I can make to those people is those are people you're essentially stuck with for life. Your mom, you have to deal with her until you can take care of your own self. But even then, that's your mom. You are binded to these people. When you have a kid with somebody, you're binded to that person until you guys are gone, because your kids, God willing, will outlive you. So you guys are going to have to coexist with each other as long as that kid is alive. So it goes in with somebody with marriage too, because if you guys are going to be married, you're going to live together, you guys are binded to each other. Even if you get a divorce, it's still on record that you married this person. So that's interesting how you see how they treat somebody that they have to be around a lot, like all the time. So,
absolutely.
But what about when you were married in order to be kept, to be, after marriage? Because you said what you was looking for before, and the things that you look for was some game you could give to the men or women. I said men at the beginning, men or women, that'll keep you kept.
I'm just going to tell you what works for me. The chemistry. I have to have the chemistry either growing, elevating, or we're dating. I want to make sure we're dating and we're keeping it hot. That's very important to me. I'm a little older now, but yeah, I still require, to make sure it's hot in the kitchen. So that's important to me.
That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's
yeah.
So yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure that you like the video, leave a comment, make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe. They was on some booth pack, but I know it's a bunch of like scammers and stuff doing weird stuff. They was on some booth. We had like a certain amount of subscribers, and then out of nowhere they taking them and then they putting something back. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Get in the comments and tell us about. I don't know if you guys have Twitter or any social media, any controversial things that you guys saw. Or something interesting you saw on social media, whether it's negative or positive, or it's about relationships or the dynamics of men and women, whatever. Get down in the comments and let us know something. Talk to us, and we'll check out the comments. I edit the videos. I don't know if I told you guys that. I edit the videos, so I'll be in the comments and checking stuff. So make sure you guys get in the comments, like the video and all that stuff. Make sure you subscribe. That was that conversation with Repinya. I was a guest today. You got anything? What you got?
No, take us out.
That's it. It's a wrap. Dum, dum, dum,
Bye.
dum.